Welcome back to Edgewater and welcome back to Generations. We are just finishing off this big field that we started at the end of the last episode here, getting this prepped for seeding. It's been quite fun actually, and we've made pretty good progress, but do you know what it has done? It has highlighted for me, we're into the 70s now, we are using pretty old and pretty small equipment, and somebody said the phrase to me the other day, you'd rather have a big tractor doing a small field than a small tractor doing a big field. So we are going to bite the bullet today, and we are going to go and speak to the bank manager, and we're going to try and pick up, hopefully, a big enough loan to pick up some bigger fields and some new equipment. There's some very nice stuff I've spotted that I want to use, and I want to give this a little bit of a reboot. We have been doing the 60s thing and creeping into the early 70s for quite a while now, but I think, you know, we're heavily into the 70s now. Technology's moved on, machinery has moved on, and we need to move with the times because we don't want to be a small farm. We want to grow this business and make it the best that we can. So I will quickly finish this field. We've got a little bit of grass to get off the other field. It is getting late in the day here, but I do want to get to the bank manager before it closes. We're gonna push the boat out here. We're gonna basically borrow literally as much as we can and take things from there, with the hope that the investment means we can repay them at some point in the future. We shall see. But like I said, I'll just do a few more passes on here and then we'll get things sorted. Right, there we go, the big field is done and looking great. We need to get this back to the yard. We've got to plant this now, or seed this. I'm not sure I know what I'm going to put into it yet. But regardless, we need some sort of solution that's going to get this seeded pretty quick. That seed we've got at the moment, I think it would take us about 2 weeks to seed this. And conscious that the weather's closing in, we're in September now, it's going to start getting cold soon, and we do not want to miss out on planting season if we can avoid it. So let's run home. We might run the pressure washer over this. We might just park it up for now and think about it another day. The other thing I would love to buy, and I've said it before, is this field here next to the farm. It's owned by one of the other farmers. I'm sure we could be in a position to negotiate just like this one across the road here. So I am tempted to give that a go as well. It all depends how willing the bank manager is to lend us the numbers that we want to borrow, so we shall see. So here we are back in the yard, 2 fields here also sitting, waiting to be sorted out. We've got a big planting job on our hands. Also, the corn is likely to be ready, I think, tomorrow, so I'm not sure how we're going to juggle this. I've got that little bit of extra money in the bank now because we sold all of those bales, which turned out to be extremely lucrative actually. So very pleasing, and a lot more silage in the silo as well, which is great. So we should be able to sell some of that once it's fermented as well. Right, let's get suited, mooted, and go and see the bank manager. I'm not sure if it reflects well or badly that we arrive at the bank in this car, but well, it's all we've got, so that's what we'll be doing. So here's my aim. Obviously the equipment we've got is a little bit too small now to really be as effective as we want it to be. I'm in the market for probably 2 new tractors. I kind of know what I want. I also would like to upgrade one of our existing tractors. I would like to spend some money on that. It's the same tractor, but we'd like to add some bits to it. I would like to find a much bigger solution for my seeder as well. We've got to buy a corn header for the combine, and if the money will stretch to it, a second combine. These big fields, it would be great to have a second combine. So let's just see how we get on, shall we? Well, I'm guessing I am a good bet because I have just managed to land an extra $250,000 of funding, which basically means we can do everything that we wanted to do, which is exciting and scary in equal measure. I still think that longer term I could use the opportunity to get rid of some of the equipment I've got some of the older equipment, but for now I think we can fund everything that we talked about on the way over to the bank. So well, I do have to go and finish picking up the grass off the far field there. That's one thing I want to do before the end of the day, but after that we're going to get on the phone to the dealer. We've already been speaking to them, we've got things lined up, and then it's a case of getting things organised, arranged and delivered in the next few days, because we're going to need them pretty quick. So we'll head over to the field. One thing that is going to happen actually is John Deere are going to head over later on tonight and do the upgrades to that tractor, the one we're actually going to go and use now. It's the 4320, so I'm excited about that, and then hopefully some of the other stuff will arrive in the next day or so. Right, back in the 4320, just got the headlands to pick up on this field now. Oh, look, the International's still there as well. We need to get that back at some point. That's the kind of tractor now that I think I'm gonna be retiring. We did talk about selling stuff, but equally I'd like to collect some of the old equipment as we go through the series. I don't want to necessarily get rid of it, so if the money will allow us to stretch to do that, we should make a point of not selling stuff. But there we go. We'll get this loaded up and tipped into the silo, and then we'll kind of hit the reset button and go again tomorrow. Right, that's the last load off this field, and I've just heard that the John Deere mechanics have arrived to help with the upgrade to the tractor, so perfect timing. We will see you back at the yard. Right, we'll just unload this here. I'll probably just leave this parked here actually. It's not in the way particularly, but it's gonna definitely help in terms of keeping. I mean, we're struggling for shed space now. Actually, this bit of grass here, can't really see because of the tree, but this piece of grass here, just the one we're facing now, could well be a candidate, or even this entire field as we get bigger. It's not a big field, so this could be a candidate for a new shed. But I'm going to give this a wash before we get down to doing some stuff. Right, take one last look at this, because it's the last time you're going to see it like this. Next time you see this, it's going to be resplendent with its brand new cab. There we have it. Like I said, resplendent. And its lovely new cab. We've also had the engine chipped. We've got an extra 20 horsepower out of it, which should help us with towing and things like that. It is looking fantastic. The dealer actually came over as well, so we closed off the deal for the other equipment, and he has it all in stock. He'd kind of preempted what I wanted, and he's made sure that it's all going to be ready for us tomorrow. So he's going to bring that down in the morning. We can get going straight away on all of those tasks we need to do. Super, super excited. So really the only last thing we need to do is speak to the realtor about buying this field over here. This is going to be our biggest field by a mile. It also already has crop in it. The current farmer had already planted. He is wanting to retire as well, just like the chap over the road was a little while ago. So we have a crop in here of canola. So there we go. That hopefully will give us a decent crop, and we'll be able to make a little bit of extra money off that as well. But super exciting stuff. So let's buy this now and see what we've got left in the way of money to spend on equipment. There we go. Field 13, plot 53. Unlucky for some, but I don't think it'll be unlucky for us. There we go, that's our probably, well it is by far our biggest outlay. And it leaves us with still 140. But one of our purchases is huge. It is going to be the biggest thing we've ever bought on the farm. By a long way. So, but I think it will set us up for the future hugely. So on that note, we will say farewell, good night, and we will see you in the morning with hopefully some exciting new equipment sitting in the yard. Morning everyone, how are we doing? It's a bit early, but I couldn't really sleep. A bit too excited. But we're going to clear some space and we're going to get ready for the new vehicles to arrive. Well, it's a couple of hours later now and he has just called. He is on his way, so let's look forward to what arrives. Well folks, there we are. The Ford FW30, $75,000 worth of tractor right there. The most expensive thing we've ever bought for the farm. But also the most powerful by quite a long way. The other thing we've purchased here is a 1974 Alice Chalmers 7000. Really nice tractor. Again, a little bit more horsepower than anything we've had before. I think these two coupled with the John Deere over there, I think will become our three really major workhorses. And how could we forget the WA14 over there? We spent a little bit extra on a 3-point hitch for this one. It gives us more flexibility with the equipment, but I think it was a well worth investment. And we've got a few other things as well. We've got a couple of seeders coming as well, which we'll chat about in a little second. But let's get these off the truck for now. So we'll take the straps off. Actually, we'll unfold the back as well. Get the ramps down and get these off. So let's start this up. Let's hear the engine for the first time. Sounds good. 230 horsepower we've got in this. Built in 1977. So ticks the boxes from an age perspective. What we don't have is any equipment that's going to look sensible with it because it is so big, but I am excited to use this tractor. It is a beautiful tractor. And the Alice, let's get this off. This is from Pleasant View Farms. I will put a link, as I will with all the mods that aren't from the mod hub, in the description, so you can go and grab this. But Pleasant's got some really lovely mods on his itch site and well worth checking out. But let's get this off the trailer, and then he can run back home with the trailer and bring back the seeders that we've also purchased. Right, let's just walk around here. I will talk about the cows in a minute because we've got a little bit of news on those as well. But let's walk down here. This is my perfect example of what I said before, that we just do not have enough space for some of this stuff, so the dealer just dropped off the other purchases down here. Look at that. 3 John Deere 6000 seeders, a JD 71 planter from 1971. That is for planting corn and obviously wheat, barley, canola, etc. in these. Now, comedically, we've just missed the planting season, so this wasn't maybe the cleverest purchase. We could have kept that money in the bank for a bit longer, but we've got them here now. The only issue is we still have the 36. We've spent everything plus about $2,000. I was going to try and buy a shed too. I don't have one, but I'm conscious that the cold, harsh winter is coming up, so we do need to buy a shed to put some of this equipment, and I don't want to leave my equipment leaving out all through the winter. But that's where I can move on to the cows. There is a little bit of manure in here, so we'll check the price of that. I think it's about 28,000 litres in there. Yes, there we go. So we find out if that's worth anything. We have had an extra 2 cows. They're starting to give birth now. They are desperate for food as well. So we'll get some more food very, very quickly as well. But the other big news, and the reason we are here, one last thing which the dealers had to go and get, so we are going to dip into our money a little bit more, is you can just see it over there in the neighbour's field, but ours is in exactly the same state. Corn is ready. So we need to harvest that. That is our next big job. But quite excited because we can use our new tractors for it. So yes, there's our field just over there. So we are just waiting for the corn header to arrive, and then we are going to jump in and use it straight away. Now in terms of headers, this is the one we should have gone for, the 443. We've plumped. We didn't go as far as this one, but we've plumped for the 643, which is the slightly bigger combine. But it's got a couple of extra rows on it, and the thought of doing 4 rows versus 6, you know, you'll get twice as much done. So that's the reason for that. Hopefully the horsepower will let it run. We did the same with the other header, so keep my fingers crossed there's enough horsepower to make it work. But only time will tell, right? And there it is. It's here. We have got all the pieces of equipment that we need. The other thing we need to do, move this over to the final bin. We have got all bins with a crop in now. This one's got our oats in, 97, nearly 98,000 litres. This one's got 20,000 litres of peas in. And this one here has got just that little bit of wheat that we started with at the beginning. We're going to keep an eye on the sale prices as well. Obviously through the winter they will go up, so we'll make sure we get our money's worth out of those. But yes, the big bin here, probably worth keeping the biggest bin for the corn as well, so we'll pop it in there. So we'll just move the auger over, and then we'll get the combine hooked up and we'll head over to the field. Right, auger in place. Let's get this back into position so we can run it. There we go. And yeah, that's us done on the farm. Let's swap headers over, and I guess we'll see you in the field. Right, here we are. Look at the height of this corn, it's huge. I'll set this up. We're going to put one of our workers on this as well, so that we can drive the auger wagon, or the gravity wagon, and see how we get on. Slightly worried about the capacity of the tank here. We could get filled pretty quick, but hey, that's a nice problem to have. We'll deal with that if that drops up. But for now, we will just cut some corn and see how we get on. Right, that's Sarah in the combine, and she's already 22% full in the tank. So I'm going to go and grab the gravity wagon. I'm probably going to run the Alice just because it's new. So, and it matches colour-wise. So we'll push on and hopefully get this field done and dusted relatively quickly. So we'll see you very shortly. Right, here we go. We might need to move the Fordson there. That's another tractor I think that might be being retired. If I do get a good shed, I'm going to make sure these things are cleaned and looked after and put into them. Maybe even have a little bit of a collector's room. But for now, we just need to get it out of the way. So we'll roll it over here. This auger wagon can probably go as well now. We don't need that anymore. Again, that was used with the old combine, and that is definitely not worth keeping. But some of this stuff definitely is. And the sprayer, I still think there's potential for that sprayer to be very handy when it comes to weeds and when we're adding fertiliser to the fields. It's got a good width on it, so we'll keep that for sure. Right, let's get hooked up, let's get going. That combine's going to be waiting for us otherwise. Alright, here we go. Let's go find that combine and let's run some grain. Right, let's hook up with the combine here. This should just about fill our tank, and then he can push on and keep going. Too close to it. We are making good progress here. Things are running like clockwork. The crop is really good. We'll get some really good numbers off here. So we'll run this down to the yard. We'll unload it into the silo. Like I said, we're nearly finished with the field here. So I think this is probably a good juncture to leave it for this episode. We'll get this field finished, have it ready for next time. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're liking the new equipment. Hope you're liking that slightly new look and feel to the series. And we will see you again very soon. But for now, from me, the FARMSIM guy, take care. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.